You know what I hear all the time now? Men saying they don't want to get married anymore. Men saying they don't see the point. Men saying it's too risky, too stressful, too expensive, and too complicated. And honestly, I don't blame them actually, because when you compare marriage today to what marriage looked like 30 or even 40 years ago, the difference is huge. Marriage used to give something to both sides. It used to feel like a real partnership. It used to have benefits for everyone. And today, what we see, most men look at the modern version of marriage and think, well, what exactly do I get from this? And that question scares a lot of women, but it's a very fair question. Because modern marriage is completely different from what their fathers or grandfathers had. And nobody's talking about it honestly, so today we will. Hey everyone, it's Anastasia and this is Matryoshka Tips channel. So, marriage used to be simple, right? Two people met, they committed to each other, they built a home together, raised children together, they shared responsibilities. Men worked, women took care of the home, and both sides knew exactly what their role was. It wasn't perfect, but there was clarity. And clarity is something men love. When a man knows what expected, he feels confident, right? When roles are defined, everything works smoother. But today marriage has changed. Expectations changed, roles, society, women changed. But the contracts stay the same. And that is where the problem starts, because the modern marriage contract still holds men responsible for almost everything, financially, legally, socially, but many women no longer want to participate in the responsibilities that used to balance that system. So men feel like the risks stayed, but the benefits disappeared. And let me explain what I mean. 30 years ago, getting married meant men gained a partner who supported them emotionally and practically. They came home to peace, to a woman who helped run the home, who raised the children, who kept the family stable. And today, most women don't want that role. They say they don't want to be homemakers, they don't want to cook, don't want traditional responsibilities, they don't want to serve a man. And that's completely fine, it's their choice. But here is the catch. Even though they don't want the traditional role, they still expect the traditional benefits. They still expect the man to propose, expect the man to commit, they still expect the man to protect, provide, pay, lead, be loyal, strong, be emotionally available, and basically be perfect. And women changed, but their expectations didn't. And men see this, they feel this, and they're tired. Well, imagine you're a man coming home after work. 30 years ago, you would come home to a warm home, right? Calm space, maybe dinner already made, kids playing, and a wife who supported your career and your efforts. And today, many men come home to stress, arguments, complaints, pressure, emotional demands, and a woman who says, it's your turn to cook, you don't do enough for me, you're not emotionally available, I'm unhappy. So instead of peace, men get performance reviews, and no person wants to live like that. And another huge reason men fear marriage today is divorce. According to modern data, women initiate the majority of divorce today. And I'm not gonna mention numbers with you, but the pattern here is real. And when a woman files for divorce, the man usually loses more. He loses his home, he loses his children, right? Savings, loses years of effort, sometimes he even loses mental health. And it's actually a painful reality. Women leave more often and men pay the price more often. So of course men are thinking, why should I take this risk? And well, this isn't fair of commitment, this is logical self-protection. And let me tell you, 30 years ago, divorce was rare. People worked through problems. Women didn't have endless advice from social media telling them they deserve better every time they feel slightly unhappy. And today, if a woman feels bored, stressed, unfulfilled, or thinks that relationship isn't exciting enough, she gets online support telling her to leave. And people tell her that stability is boring, that a good man is replaceable, that she deserves a new chapter, and many women listen. So men look at modern culture and think, well, she can leave whenever she wants and I'll be the one who pays for it. And they're actually right. Now let's talk about respect. In the past, women respected their husbands in a very different way. They appreciated effort, they appreciated hard work, they appreciated a man who provided, a man who protected, a man who showed up every day. And today, well, respect has become like optional. Many women see men as something they can upgrade if they get bored. They treat marriage like a long-term dating situation that can end at any moment. And, well, disrespect is one of the biggest reasons modern men avoid marriage. A man would rather be alone than disrespected in his own home. And then there is loyalty. 30 years ago, people didn't have 24/7 access to validation from strangers. And today, social media gives women attention, compliments, flirtation, messages, likes all day long. A married woman today connects single online. She can be emotionally distracted by other men without ever physically cheating. She can compare her husband to every attractive man she sees online. She can be influenced by influencers who tell her that she deserves more passion, more excitement, better lifestyle. So actually men ask, well, how can I compete with millions of strangers in her phone? And honestly, they shouldn't have to. You know, marriage used to be about building a life together. Today, many marriages will fall apart because one person is chasing a fantasy that doesn't exist. Men are practical, women are emotional. And modern life gives women endless emotional stimulation, endless pressure, endless comparison. So marriage becomes unstable, not because men don't try, but because women chase an unrealistic idea of happiness. Now let's talk about sexual dynamics. This is something most people are scared to discuss actually. Like 30 years ago, intimacy inside marriage was a priority. Today, many men say intimacy disappears after marriage. They say the woman loses interest, becomes distant, becomes stressed, complains she's tired or only wants intimacy on her terms. And the man becomes the one always waiting, hoping, always trying to keep the connection alive. And this hurts men deeply. It makes them feel unwanted, rejected, invisible, and once again, they ask themselves, why would I sign up for this? Another important issue is the workload. Men now have to provide the same way they did decades ago, but women no longer want to share their domestic responsibilities in the same way. So men end up working outside the home and helping inside the home. And many women still say, you're not doing enough. Well, men feel like they are constantly failing at something. No matter how much they do, it's never enough. And that feeling destroys their desire for marriage. And then there is the pressure. Women expect marriage. They expect the proposal, the ring, the wedding, the commitment. And men, well, they don't get anything similar in return. Women get certainty, men get risk. Women get support, men get responsibility. Women get social praise, men get pressure. Women get emotional safety, men get emotional demand. Let's imagine a simple life example. You're dating a woman for 2 years maybe, things are good, you live together, you support each other, have peace, but she starts telling you, when are we getting married? I need to know we are serious. To her, marriage is proof, it's security, it's something she always dreamed about. But to you, nothing changes except the risk. She already has loyalty, stability, protection and partnership without signing a contract. But the moment you sign, you take on a new level of vulnerability. And women don't understand that. They only feel the benefit, but not the risk. And yes, marriage can still work. There are women who are loyal, calm, family-oriented, respectful, grateful, peaceful. I can continue. There are women who truly want partnership, not control. Women who support their man, not demand from them. Who believe in teamwork, not competition. With those women, marriage is beautiful. And men feel safe. But sadly, this is becoming rare. And men today know that because they see what happens around them every day. And some people will say, but men used to live longer when married, and that was true decades ago, but modern studies are showing the opposite. Men without marriage can also live peaceful, stable, healthy lives. Why? Well, because men today feel more emotionally safe alone than in a stressful relationship. And meanwhile, women still benefit emotionally and financially from marriage. They gain what? Help, support, stability. And this is why modern men check out. They are not bitter, they are not angry, scared, or they are just realistic. And they see that modern marriage is not designed to protect men anymore. It's designed to protect women. And men are finally saying, no, thank you. So if you're a man watching this, know this. You're not wrong for being careful. You're not wrong for taking your time. You're not wrong for protecting your money, peace, mental health, freedom, and your future. And you're not wrong for wanting a woman who brings value into your life, not pressure. A woman who respects you, not tests you. A woman who chooses peace but not drama. Who sees marriage as a partnership, not a safety net. Marriage can be beautiful, but only with the right woman, not the modern stereotype. Not the woman who thinks marriage is a reward she deserves, but the woman who still understands loyalty, respect, femininity, teamwork, and gratitude. Thanks for watching, guys. See you in the next one. I'm Anastasia, and this is Matryoshka Tips channel. Bye.